All right, good afternoon, everybody. It's the Fantasy Sports Boss for Massacre Tuesday. Anybody that plays the game of fantasy football, no doubt, is feeling the pain today. Just an ungodly amount of injuries, major big injuries that have really thrown the game of fantasy football into chaos. We're going to go over all the injuries. It is Waiver Wire Tuesday as well. Going to go over all of the waiver wire pickups this week. And honestly, this is a really big week for pickups. Like, there are a lot of guys who you could make a case for 3 or 4 different guys to be the number one waiver ad this week. That's how good the waiver wire is. And we're going to go through each of the positions, starting with the running backs in just a few minutes. Came on a little bit earlier today because I got a lot to talk about. I did post a video earlier about Justin Jefferson and James Conner and Devin Achane. Like, it's just an awful, brutal day, no doubt about it. All hail Patrick Taylor. Thank you, Justin. Yeah, holy crap. So again, before I get into the channel, rather the news of the day and whatnot, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. So yes, Patrick Taylor. Anybody who's just tuning in, last night it was an unbelievable night for me in terms of fantasy football, like stress beyond belief. So anybody who wasn't tuned in yesterday, I was down 1.2 points with my opponent done, and I had Aaron Jones going into last night. Obviously, Jones was ruled out. I had to pick up Patrick freaking Taylor, the third string running back for Green Bay. All I needed was 2 points. His first carry of the game, -3 yards. He made the deficit even bigger. Catches a pass on that same drive, and then does nothing right through the half. So at this point, I'm still losing by like 0.4 something. I decide to go to bed. I'm like, I don't want to deal with this shit. Like, I just can't watch this anymore. I woke up with 5 minutes to go in the game, and his score didn't change. He was still on 0.9 points. I'm like, there is no way. I wasn't watching the second half, so I have no idea what happened. So I was still losing. I'm like, 5 minutes left in the game. There is no way he's going to play anymore. It's over. Well, woke up this morning and saw that he had 2+ fantasy points. He caught a pass, I guess, right on one of the last 2 drives, if not the last drive. Anybody that saw it could tell me. And Patrick freaking Taylor won me my matchup in my work league. I'm 4-1 in that league, 5-0 in my friends and family league. It's been a great start. But my 5-0 team lost Justin Jefferson to IR, lost James Conner to IR, all before 10 o'clock this morning, and Tank Dell to a concussion, who's probably not going to play this week. So 3 guys in one day I'm out on a 5-0 team. I'm in big trouble. Going to have to make a lot of waiver wire moves this week. So, like I said, we're going to go through each of the positions. Like I said, we'll start with the running backs. The running back situation is just a huge mess. It's been this way all year. It's just getting worse. Let's take these one at a time. All right, let's start with Justin Jefferson. So Justin Jefferson, this is really potentially messy. So he's on IR, and I said it yesterday. Anybody who joined me on the stream last night, I said the fact that he had to be consoled by Kevin O'Connell told me that it was a serious injury. And sure enough, he's on IR. So, hey, Jermaine, how are you? I'm not sold on Mercado. Should I be so the Taylor catcher was a nifty move to get the first down? I didn't even see it. It's still on DVR. I'm going to watch it later just to fast forward to that. Broke it down. Oh, they challenged it? Oh, my God. Wow. I would have been shitting my pants watching that, Jermaine. Oh, my God. I can't even believe I won that game. But anyway, let me get through the Justin Jefferson thing. So he's out 4 games, right? This team is done. They are done. They are done like the Giants. They're done like the Patriots. The Vikings are done. And I took the under on them to begin the season because I knew this team was a paper tiger as a Giants fan. The Giants beat them in Minnesota last year. The problem now, and we've already saw Adam Schefter tweet this today, or X, whatever you want to call it. He doesn't believe Jefferson's going to come back on time because the team is going to be out of it. He's playing for a new contract. So there is no way Jefferson wants to get injured even worse going into a contract year. Kirk Cousins might get traded. You keep hearing these rumors to the Jets. I'm not buying it because of what he did to them in that free agency, 3 years ago. But you know what? If the Jets were right there on the periphery, I think they would forget about that, bring him aboard, and then he's free at the end of the year. They'll just have Aaron Rodgers next year. So this is bad for me personally as a Justin Jefferson owner on a 5-0 fantasy team. And his skill, his performances were one of the main reasons why I am 5-0. So now I'm in deep trouble. So now I do have CeeDee Lamb, who's also wide receiver 1 on that team, so that's good. But then it drops down to Tyler Lockett, who's now my wide receiver 2, and Josh Palmer, who's my wide receiver 3. That's what happens, right? So it drops down like that. So yeah, Jermaine, and I made note of that this morning. So Saquon, Austin Eckler. I think I'm not saying these guys did this, but it seemed like the absences went a little bit longer than anticipated with both Saquon and Eckler. Maybe they are protecting themselves, and they have a right to do that, right? They have to protect themselves going forward. The Jefferson thing is bad. So this to me is, given the stature of the player, he was the number 1 pick in a lot of leagues. This is a big, big problem. Now, South, as far as who I would rank, I would go Wilson, Mercado, Roschon. Wilson, Mercado, Roschon in that order. I think Wilson could be a really big guy the rest of the season, really big get for the rest of the season. Now, what's the fallout on Justin Jefferson? So KJ Osborne is a top 3 get this week. So honestly, I think Jeff Wilson is the number 1 ad. And I think KJ Osborne is right behind him. So KJ Osborne is going to go to the X. He's already playing about 85% of the snaps. And that will just grow. He's going to be out there for 90 plus every week. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate that. KJ Osborne has played well this year. He played well the second half of last year, and he was going to be a major sleeper of mine before they drafted Addison. Obviously, Addison, his value goes up too. Hi, Polumsky. How are you? TJ Hawkinson, even more so. So Hawkinson's already having a big year. That's just going to manifest it even more. He is the top target. Addison, to me, is the second target. Osborne, the third, but this is a passing offense. I think Osborne, 90-plus snap share, at worst is a flex, at best is a wide receiver 3. I am targeting him heavily. I have him ahead of Josh Downs at the wide receiver rankings. Second injury, James Conner. So James Conner put on IR, right? He's got a knee injury. So James Conner is out a month. He's not the quickest healer either. So, and Mercado, right? That seems to be the next guy up. And here's the thing about him. Mercado at TCU with Kendre Miller was the backup. All right. So Kendre Miller was the runner. Mercado was the pass receiver. And we've already seen Mercado catch the football. He did well last week catching the football. He's got PPR friendly upside, Mercado. So while I do have Jeff Wilson ahead of him, I think Mercado is the second guy at the running back position that you target off of waivers. Now, Keontae Ingram, he has a neck injury. He missed the last 2 weeks. It is possible he returns this week. Josh Dobbs is a running quarterback. So I think that there's more players involved. I don't think it's strictly going to be Mercado. All right. That's why I have Wilson ahead of him. I think Ingram is going to be involved. Dobbs, of course, can keep it. But Mercado in PPR league, he could be a flex, right? I'm not going to make him anything more than a flex because Ingram is there, like I said. But this guy at TCU had good measurables. Caught the football really well and has good speed. So this could work, right? As far as James Conner, this is the same story. You draft James Conner, and I drafted him in one league knowing he's going to miss time. You just hope that it's a short absence. Well, this is not going to be a short absence. He was an aging back. Not surprised he got hurt again. But obviously you stash him. Do I keep McLaughlin going to Arizona running back? I would keep McLaughlin. McLaughlin's already proven himself. The Arizona, Mercado, not sure. Can't find Leonard Fournette's not doing anything. He's not going to be signed by anybody. Should I wait for week 7 considering there'll be 6 teams on bye? Do I need a running back? I have Spears. If you don't want to blow it and you got, Jeff Wilson is available, I would use it on him. But if not, you can, if you're not in a position, Polumsky, where you need him, that's fine. Saints or Chiefs, Steve, this week. Listen, I've been on Saints all week. I'm not going to change it now. Have Wilson. Should I flex him this week? I don't know if he's going to be ready to return. The window is open on his return, Joe, but I'm not sure if he's back yet. Salvin Ahmed is still there as well. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, that was a big win with Patrick freaking Taylor. Drop one to make room for Mitchell, who's questionable. Potential McKinnon, Dowdle, Mason, or Reynolds. I would drop Reynolds. I don't there's no reason to keep Reynolds. All right. Injury number 3, Devin Achane. I mean, again, this falls under the we can't ever have anything nice in fantasy football. Devin Achane, who has been the story outside of Puka Nacua in fantasy football this season, massively explosive back, home run hitter, racking up touchdowns like they're going out of style. Just insane production the last 3 weeks. He's got a knee injury. He's now possibly going on IR. They haven't made the decision yet. They're getting second and third opinions, but it's not looking good. Jeff Wilson, coming off IR, the window is open, the 21-day window for him to return. Jeff Wilson, guys, split work 50-50 with Raheem Mostert last year and did a nice job. Both guys were like running back threes, but we know Mostert can't stay healthy, right? So Jeff Wilson, if something were to happen to Mostert the next couple of weeks, Jeff Wilson will be the primary running back on the best offense in football. So to me, that makes him the number one priority in waivers this week. But again, real shame with Devin Achane, no doubt about it. Injuries are starting to chip away now at Miami, and not the best situation there. Should we try to trade Z Moss? Yeah, Joe, this is the last opportunity I think you could trade Moss as it is. So anyway, Demercado, like I said, I have him behind Jeff Wilson. So we're talking about the running backs right now. A couple of other backs, Chuba Hubbard. So Chuba Hubbard's advanced metrics are much better than Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders has been a bust. There's just no way to put it, right? There's no other way to put it, I should say. And he has now outsnapped Sanders each of the last 2 weeks. Now, Hubbard hasn't exactly lit the world on fire, but he catches the football really well. He catches it better than Sanders. And you know what? He's getting about, like 52, 53% of the snaps. So that is a positive there. He's running back 3, running back 4 right now. But again, you want to be in on these guys who have the 50-plus snap share, and that's Chuba Hubbard right now. I think Chuba Hubbard can pick up for waivers this week too. Tyjae Spears, guys, last call on Tyjae Spears. I've been saying it all season. Get this guy on your team. There is a chance Derrick Henry will get traded, especially with all these running back injuries, and you want Tyjae Spears. Listen, somebody said it in the chat the other day. If not for the lifelong excellence of Derrick Henry in Tennessee, it is likely the Titans would have pushed him aside already and given the job to Spears. Spears looks so much better than Henry. It's not even funny. And I think out of respect for Henry, they're not making that move yet. But Spears is the guy. He's got PPR chops, catching the ball, running it, excellent speed. He's going to be something else when he finally plays. Donta Foreman. So Donta Foreman, I think, is worth picking up. I mean, listen, he's strictly a guy for standard leagues. Roschon Johnson's not going to get cleared from concussion protocol. Pretty much anybody who suffers a concussion this season, I don't think there's one case where a guy has gotten cleared the next week. So I think we could say no Roschon Johnson. I still would pick up Johnson if he's available. But with Khalil Herbert playing really well the 2 games before he went out, I don't think this is automatically a Roschon Johnson league-winning situation the rest of the year. Charles, I would take Josh Palmer for sure. Trade Jefferson for DK and Gibbs. Wow, somebody's really trying to buy low there. I think you could do better, honestly. All right, so and the other one is Justice Hill. So Justice Hill, 7 carries, 4 receptions. He scored a touchdown. He did have a fumble. He's splitting work with Gus Edwards. He's playing the majority of passing downs. The ceiling doesn't go that high with Justice Hill, but they need him, right? Gus Edwards is not flashy. He doesn't catch the ball. Justice Hill does. So Justice Hill, to me, if he's available, he's worth picking up as well. All right, let's move on to the receivers. So KJ Osborne, number 1 guy. I've already said that. We already talked about KJ Osborne. Josh Downs, guys. So Josh Downs, had a really big game 2 weeks ago when Gardner Minshew started, then did nothing with Anthony Richardson in week 4. And now Gardner Minshew, week 5, he was really good again. So, the 7.7 targets with Gardner Minshew, 2.5 with Anthony Richardson. So clearly Minshew, who throws a good ball, really looking heavily for Josh Downs. Josh Downs is my 2nd rated receiver off the waiver wire this week. I am proactively going after him. I think he's a good investment. PPR leagues, he's looking like a wide receiver 3. Roschon Johnson, I don't think he's going to get cleared, Joe, for this week. Curtis Samuel, guys. So Curtis Samuel, he's done a nice job the last couple of weeks. 18-plus fantasy points. This offensive line on the Commanders is so bad that Sam Howell is looking to throw short and get that ball out. That's why Samuel and not Jahan Dotson has taken off the last couple of weeks. Howell simply does not have the time to throw it down the field to Dotson. So that's why Curtis Samuel's having a really good stretch. He's a good run after the catch guy. He could take handoffs like Curtis Samuel. I have him behind Downs. I have him behind Osborne, but I'm proactively targeting him as well. How about this? Rashee Rice right now is only about 40% owned, which is complete bullshit. And if you ask me, he should be owned like 80% plus. He's getting, guess who has more targets on in the Chiefs passing attack around the red zone? Travis Kelce or Rashee Rice? Well, it's Rashee Rice. And, based on snap percentage, he's right up there in the NFL on targets. So Rashee Rice, people are really late to him. I think he's going to be really, really good the rest of the season. Josh Reynolds, 41% ownership. He's been good. He's done a Michael Thomas impersonation. He's been 10 to 11, 12 points each week in PPR. Amon-Ra St. Brown expected back this week, but I still think this offense is really humming right now. Josh Reynolds should be added. As far as the tight ends, so Logan Thomas right at the top of the list. Logan Thomas only owned in about 20% of the leagues. He's averaging 7 targets, and he was really good the last 2 weeks. Again, the short passing game is working in Washington because the offensive line is so bad that Howell's got to get the ball out quick, and that's helping Curtis Samuel. It's helping Logan Thomas. Or if you're stuck with a dud at tight end, hello, Darren Waller owners, that's somebody you could look at. Dalton Schultz. So Dalton Schultz has scored in 2 weeks in a row. This was a guy over the summer I told you guys to target because I thought it was a good matchup, a rookie tight end with a rookie quarterback with a veteran tight end. It didn't come to fruition the first couple of weeks, but I think CJ Stroud is now unlocking Dalton Schultz. It's working. I think Dalton Schultz should be picked up. And Zach Ertz still only about 52% ownership. It's not flashy. He's a catch and fall down guy, but in PPR leagues, the targets have been there all season. Would you trade Walker and Hopkins for Eckler? It's funny you say that, Tony. I just offered Walker and Michael Thomas for Eckler. Now, I don't think that's going to get accepted, right? But I'm expecting a counter proposal because the owner in the league, in my work league that has Eckler, is absolutely decimated with injuries. His running backs are Miles Sanders and James Conner. So I'm offering him Walker, and his receivers are decimated too. He's had so many injuries. So that's why I'm offering him Michael Thomas and Kenneth Walker, expecting a comeback, a counter proposal. So we'll see what happens there. Quarterbacks. So not much with the quarterbacks this week. I mean, Baker Mayfield, if you want to take a look at Baker Mayfield, he's there. Dare I say it, Desmond Ridder. I do like Gardner Minshew. I think Gardner Minshew, we know Gardner Minshew can put up points. He's a fairly decent passer. He can move a little bit as well. So I think that Gardner Minshew would be somebody that I would target off the free agent list as well. How about Jefferson for DK and Terry? I mean, you could, Royer. I mean, it's, you hate to trade Jefferson to trade low on him, but I mean, I guess you really don't have a choice. I'm not on board on trading Jefferson. I'm sorry. Travis Kelce today, guys, was limited. So it's going to be interesting to see the Chiefs play the Broncos Thursday night. He was limited. Javonte Williams, Sean Payton said he probably, if it was a playoff game, he would have been able to play on Sunday. So I expect Javonte Williams to come back. So this game is a little bit muddied now from a fantasy perspective. Jefferson of Atlanta, yeah, it's just what are they going to? They'll just throw to him, once a game, Jermaine. I still don't want anybody in Atlanta. Although I got to be fair, Ridder was good last week. Chance he doesn't play the rest of the season. You know what? I don't think so. He's still got to put up some numbers for that contract. Although, listen, he's going to get paid no matter what. Certainly, if they trade Kirk Cousins, there's no incentive for him to come back if they tear it down. Patrick Taylor was just released by the Packers. Looks like was he really? He was Patrick Taylor, who helped me win my matchup last night, got released. Oh, my God. Oh, man, I feel bad. Dude, the guy, I even tweeted at him last night before the game. I said, dude, if you help me win, I'll totally buy your jersey. I haven't heard back from him. That sucks, man. I mean, he wasn't good yesterday, let's face it. He had 2 catches and 5 targets. So Kelce, limited. If he doesn't play, Rashee Rice is a really good play this week. And now here's the thing with Javonte Williams. So this is interesting. We saw McLaughlin, a pure game breaker. Samaje Perine played really well as well week 5. a three-headed monster at running back is not ideal for anybody. It's going to destroy the fantasy value of all three guys. I think what will happen is Peyton loves McLaughlin so much that I think P. Ryan will drop down to the third, as unfair as that might be. Maybe the Broncos make a deal too. Do they trade P. Ryan? Listen, Javonte Williams hasn't been good, but the future is still bright there. I still believe in him. As long as he can get that speed back, which we haven't seen so far. Cole Beasley, designated to return, so he could play against his former team. Derwin James is back. Who cares? All right, so Austin Eckler, a full participant today. So I'm trying to buy low on Austin Eckler. So, you could talk up in your league, oh, he's just coming back, and chance of re-injury. Try to buy low on Eckler, and that's what I'm doing in my work league. All right, so we talked about Javonte Williams. Austin Eckler said there's a 99% chance he plays on Sunday, so that's good enough for me. Chance at league-winning upside during the playoffs. Justice Hill or Keaton Mitchell. Justice Hill does not have league-winning upside, even in PPR. He's still a flawed player. And he's been with that team for a number of years, so he hasn't gotten the opportunity because he's just not really that good. All right, let's see what happens today. We talked about James Conner. Broncos are going to activate Greg Dulcich. We don't care. Falcons agreed to pick up Van Jefferson. I mean, if they had a quarterback, Deshaun Watson, PJ Walker will start in his place. How is PJ Walker still in the NFL? Deontay Johnson's ready to come off IR, plans to play against the Rams. So Deontay Johnson is about the only Pittsburgh Steeler player that I would use in fantasy leagues and a PPR league. I think Deontay Johnson, has proven the targets have always been there. He didn't score a touchdown last year, but the targets were there. So I don't have an issue with anybody who wants to, pick him up or actually buy low in a deeper league. Anthony Richardson, sideline. He hasn't gone on IR yet. Actually, did he go on IR? I'm starting to lose track now because so many guys are going on IR. Did Anthony Richardson go on IR yet? I forget now. The Colts work out Kellen Mond. They worked out Ian Book, Halter Ehlers, who I've never even heard of, and Trace McSorley. So clearly he's gonna be out for a while. Not yet. Okay, yeah, I didn't think so. Mac Jones is gonna start. Jesus. Again, I said this yesterday. Unless Belichick gets Caleb Williams, and I do think the North Carolina kid is really good too. Like I really think that he might be somebody as well that Belichick might stick around for. But man, it is just ugly right now. It is just beyond ugly with the New England Patriots. Mac Jones is done for with this team. It's bad. It is absolutely bad. So who's the Carolina? What's his name? Oh, Drake May. So Drake May, I said this at the beginning of it. Caleb Williams is going to be the guy, number one pick if you bet the house on it. But don't sleep on Drake May because the one thing about Caleb Williams is he's not overly big, right? He's not the biggest guy in the world. So Drake May has that prototypical size that you want out of a quarterback. And listen, he's 6'4". I think there is a chance that Drake May could be the number one pick in the draft. Like I truly believe that. I think it's him and Caleb Williams. One of those two guys is going to be the number one pick. More for Jefferson or stay away. If you get DJ Moore for Jefferson, I would consider that. That I would consider. The other offers, I don't know. Somebody asked me before about the other. I didn't like the other. What was it? McLaurin and Metcalf. I didn't like that one. But that's a little bit better. But man, I can't even believe it. Massacre Tuesday, like I said, no doubt about it. And honestly, it feels like the injuries are just so much worse this year. Like it really does. You like to think that it's all relative. It's and maybe it's just the big name guys that are going down. Just gotta shoot a text here. But there's literally there's a first, second round guy going down every week. And it's completely destroying fantasy teams. Wilson or Spears? I would go Spears. Because if Henry gets traded or gets hurt, you have a top 10, top 12 guy in PPR. Should I trade Laporta and Tua for Bijan? Yes, I would do that. I would absolutely do that. Pick 4 full PPR as of right now. Addison, definitely CD, definitely Adam Ra, and Olave. I'm still believing in Olave. Listen, it's the same thing. I'm going to say the same thing I said about Calvin Ridley. Olave is too good to hold down for long. But anyway, getting back to the injuries, it seems like there's a top first, second round guy going out every week. And here's the thing. I've harped on this for years about how the incidence of running back injuries are so much more prevalent than any other position. But this year, there have been a lot of wide receivers that have gone down. Mike Williams, done for the year. And that's the other thing. So I told you in my 5-0 team, I lost Jefferson and Connor today and also Tank Dell with a concussion. That same team, I've also lost Mike Williams for the season. And I'm 5-0. So, I feel like it's a house of cards now. But anyway, T. Higgins, Mike Williams, Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, Jalen Waddle with the concussion. There's been a lot of prime wideouts that have gone down this year. So that argument that I made all summer, the last few summers, about how receivers don't get hurt nearly as much, that's almost falling by the wayside. And you know what? I really wanted to, and I'll do this for tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday already. I'm curious to see out of every NFL team, out of every starting running back, how many are still, or have not missed time with injury, right? So out of the 32 starting running backs week 1, how many are left that haven't missed any time? I'm curious about that. So I'll have to look into that later tonight and post a video on that tomorrow. But yeah, man, it just, I don't know. It just seems like it's so much more worse this year. I just don't even know. Is it the turf? Kelsey's missed time. He got hurt again yesterday. It looks like he's going to be okay, thank God. But that looked really bad. It just seems like now whoever wins your fantasy football league, honestly, just has the best injury luck. That's what it's coming down to now. Bijan only running back holding strong. Yeah, Bijan Robinson is the best player in football. The most talented pure player in football. I don't think there's any question about it. That's how good he is. But it's been very frustrating this year in fantasy. I've won 9 out of 10 matchups in my 2 leagues, but it looks like I'm completely shit out of luck in my undefeated league because I've lost 4 of my best players already to injury. 1 for the season, 2 more for IR, and Tank Dell, who knows how long he's going to be out. So that team now, my 5-0 team, this is who I got left. So I have Jalen Hurts my quarterback, so I'm good there. And CeeDee Lamb is now my wide receiver 1, but then it drops down to Tyler Lockett and Josh Palmer. So those are my wideouts now. I have Pacheco and Montgomery. I went value at running back in this league. I have Pacheco and Montgomery and James Conner. Those are the 3 guys I drafted. So now, Montgomery's been awesome. So is Pacheco. So going value at running back has really worked out for me in this league. And then I have Darren Waller at tight end, and I don't have a flex in there right now. My bench is Tank Dell, Zach Charbonnet, Tyjae Spears, Chuba Hubbard, Rico Dowdle. Those are my back. None of those guys are worth a flex. So I have waivers out on KJ Osborne, who's my number 1 because I need a wideout more, and Jeff Wilson is my number 2. And then I'm going to look at Josh Downs probably as my number 3, the Mercado kid probably number 4. So that's how I'm going to do it. Patrick Taylor came through. Yeah, he did. And then somebody said he got released. So he got released today after he helped win me a league. I'm curious. Did he ever even tweet back at me? I don't think so. I never got anything from him. Yeah, no. I tweeted at him yesterday. Let's see. So I won that matchup 118.96 to 117.54. Amazing. Hawkinson to the moon. Yeah, Hawkinson is absolutely going to the moon, and he's going to the next galaxy. That's how good Hawkinson is going to be this year. So tomorrow, my work league. So this is a decision I have in my work league that I'm 4-1. My receivers are stacked in this league. I have A.J. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Mike Evans, and Michael Thomas. And I have Rashee Rice, who I picked up off waivers a couple of weeks ago, as my top backup. And I also have claims out for Josh Downs. Now, somebody just offered. All right, so somebody in this league just offered me a trade, right? The guy I just beat yesterday just offered me a trade. I haven't looked at the trade now. I'm going to tell you what it is. So I'm just looking at who he wants, right? He wants Kenneth Walker and Mike Evans. I haven't seen who he's asking for. He's offered me, all right, he's offered me Tony Pollard and Antonio Gibson for Kenneth Walker and Mike Evans. I can't do that trade. I mean, Antonio Gibson is dog shit. He wrote, still on Pollard. I need wide receiver help. Let me know. Now, let me ask you guys this. I'm not accepting this. Do I counter with Walker and Michael Thomas for Tony Pollard? Who would you rather? What do you think about that? Now I'm asking your guys' help, right? So now this is me typing out to you guys. Do I counter with Mike Thomas and Kenneth Walker for Tony Pollard? I'm saying no. I'm not trading Mike Evans and Kenneth Walker. No way. No way, no way, no way. My receivers are Amon-Ra St. Brown, A.J. Brown, Mike Evans, Michael Thomas, and Rashee Rice. And I have a waiver out on Josh Downs. I don't think I'm going to get him, though. So I can spare a wideout. I could spare Michael Thomas. You know, he needs a wideout. He's got no receivers. Now, do you like Tony Pollard better than Kenneth Walker? I do. I mean, I have to be honest, though. Tony Pollard hasn't exactly lit the world on fire. Tony Pollard's been 22, 19. That was a good start. But the last 3 weeks, 15, 9, and 8 fantasy points. So Tony Pollard has not been good the last couple of weeks. I do Amon for – no, I'm not trading Amon-Ra St. Brown for Tony Pollard. Oh, man, this is tough. Kenneth Walker. See, Kenneth Walker just had his bye. And Kenneth Walker the last few weeks, the 4 weeks, 10, 18, 30, and 13. So, I mean, he hasn't been exactly great either. I know Charbonnet is working towards a 50%. I wouldn't accept Michael Thomas. Let me look at this guy's team. All right. So, first of all right, let me see. Tony Pollard. This is the guy I beat yesterday. So, his receivers are Terry McLaurin, Drake London, and Jackson Smith and Jigba. Like, that's really shitty. So I feel like I have the hammer. Like, Jackson Smith and Jigba should not be started anywhere. And Terry McLaurin, hasn't been great. He had the one big game against the Eagles. He's got Marvin Mims on his bench. Like, he really needs my help. So when is Dallas on the bye? Oh, they're in bye week 7. Fuck. Oh, man. A.J. Brown for Pollard. No, I don't want – I'm not – my receiver, I'm not trading for Tony Pollard straight up. Week 7 bye is tough. Kenneth Walker's solid. You have his handcuff, who's good too. Don't do it. Cowboys offense is overrated. Yeah, I would keep Walker. I mean, if he wants Michael Thomas and Walker for Pollard, you wouldn't do that, guys? I mean, I don't know. That's a tough one. Do I have Rico Dowdle still on this team? I do. So, like, if I needed, I have the handcuff already on the roster. Oh, no, I don't. Shit. All right. You keep Walker. Yeah, I don't know. Am I even considering this Kenneth Walker? I'm not considering Mike Evans for Kenneth Walker. No. That I'm already rejecting that. I am considering I'm going to counter with Mike Thomas and Kenneth Walker for Tony Pollard and Antonio Gibson. Walker's bye week free now. Yeah, I know. That's a problem. Let me see what I got on week 7. So week 7, Aaron Jones will be back. I have Jaleel McLaughlin and Javonte Williams. So that's going to hurt me week 7. Yeah, I don't know if I can. Listen, it wasn't a fair offer. We're asking for Mike Evans and Kenneth Walker for Tony Pollard. I do like Pollard better than Walker, no doubt about it. But that week 7 bye is annoying. I'm going to leave that on the back burner for now. P-Rob, my running back too. After trading Henry, should I trade Flowers for Mixon or Kyron? Maybe for Kyron, not for Mixon. Stay away from Mixon. He looks completely shot to me. And he was last year, too. He had that one huge game against the Raiders. I think it was against the Raiders. We had 50-plus points. Other than that, he wasn't very good. Trade Tua or Fields for Achane, knowing Achane's hurts. I mean, I see what you're doing there. If Howell's available on waivers, you can pick him up to join. I mean, I would offer Fields for Achane, see if that works. I'm not sold on Fields. I know he was big the last couple of weeks, but he played two of the shittiest defenses in the NFL. I need one from the waiver wire: Foreman, Hill, or DeMercado. Not Foreman. I would say Hill, because I think that DeMercado is going to probably be the third down back. And I don't know. That's close. Honestly, either one, Hill or DeMercado, I would flip a coin. Would you trade Addison for Watson? No, I would not. Listen, that Packers team, Jordan Love was really bad last night. I mean, that was a layup of a defense that he was facing. He was really, really bad. Embarrassing performance by the Packers. One catch for 4 yards. Imagine being like a Romeo Dobbs owner, right? You go into last night, your opponent has nobody left, and you're trailing in a PPR league by 2 points. And he catches one ball for 4 yards. Like, I would throw my television across the room. Like, that's how pissed off I would be. Say if I traded Henry for Waddle and B-Rob, was that the move? Same fact, I traded Henry for Waddle and B-Rob. That was a really good move that somebody took Henry. I mean, God, he's so old. Spears is a flex. Spears to the moon. Yeah, once Henry's out of the way, and I do believe that they're going to at least listen on him. And listen, Derrick Henry might say to the team, trade me. I've given you everything. And the Titans wouldn't be able to say no, nor would they. They would not do that. I actually think the Titans would welcome Henry saying, try to trade me. I think he's a free agent at the end of the season, or maybe he's got a year to go. I could totally see that happening. Who can I move off Tony Pollard for? Want nothing to do with Dallas. So George, you're looking to get rid of Tony Pollard. Somebody offered me Tony Pollard just about 10 minutes ago. He wanted Mike Evans and Kenneth Walker for Tony Pollard and Antonio Gibson. So, I mean, I said no to that, but I was thinking of countering with Michael Thomas and Kenneth Walker. Would you trade Barkley and Purdy for Tyreek Hill? Yes, absolutely. The Giants are going nowhere. That offensive line is shameful. That's how bad it is. And Barkley's going to have no room to run. Should I rock with my B-Rob to try and get Kyron? Listen, Kyron Williams is not flashy, guys. I know he's catching the ball, which Brian Robinson won't do. So I'm fine with that. Just keep in mind, 2 of the last 3 games already, Kyron Williams hasn't been good. So, and I've been sounding the alarm on him all along. The workload is there, though. He's like a glorified James. He's a younger James Conner. Less speed, though. James Conner's faster. Still believe in CD. I still believe in CD as well. But listen, the Mike McCarthy effect is in full bore. You can see it. I take like Josh Jacobs or downgrade someone like Brian Robinson, a better receiver. Listen, Josh Jacobs has been good. I think Josh Jacobs is going to have a big finish to the season. He's worked off the rust. And I think if you're a Jonathan Taylor owner, although you have a very capable Zach Moss now there, I think that's concerning. But I think Taylor in like 3 weeks is going to be just like Josh Jacobs starting last week, where he worked off the rust and really got going. So I'm really bullish on Josh Jacobs. The rest of the year. So, I think that's a good thing. Let me check out the news, make sure the news of the day, because, I still think that when is the trade deadline? I don't remember when the trade deadline is. If anybody could share that, I would really be interested in that. James Conner, we talked Eckler. So Dynasty, would you trade Russ Wilson for Treylon Burks? I mean, you could. I mean, Russell Wilson is nothing. He's just, he's having a good year, but this Broncos offense is completely listless. I mean, it's just bad. But Treylon Burks doesn't do anything for me either. That being said, and you know what, Ryan, yes, I would do this deal, because Ryan Tannehill is not going to be there next year. Derrick Henry is not going to be there next year. It is very entirely possible they draft Drake May, right? They draft Michael Penix Jr. They draft Quinn Ewers. And now you have a gunslinging. All 3 of those guys are gunslingers. Now you have a gunslinging quarterback with a young Treylon Burks who still has quite a bit of upside left to his name. So, yes, I would do that. Halloween is the deadline. Wow. All right, so we still got some time. What defense would you like this week? Miami at home versus Carolina, or KC at home versus Denver? I would have to say KC at home versus Denver, because Denver's offensive line is giving up a ton of sacks. Carolina, Bryce Young played well finally. Adam Thielen has been really, really good. Thielen shows he still has juice in his legs. He's been really good. So I'd rather have KC. Anthony Davis should not be able to stay healthy. He's killing my fantasy. Yeah, guys, listen, I will say I was wrong about how well he played, but I'm not wrong in the fact that his game is not conducive to staying healthy, just like we saw with Justin Fields last year. This is a major concern. He's had 3 injuries already in 5 weeks. Defense this week, KC or Miami? KC. Would you do Pollard and Waddle for CMC? Would I trade Pollard and Waddle for CMC? Yes, I would. And you know what's funny? CMC, for all of the injury question marks he had earlier in his career, he's been really durable. Durable last year, durable so far this year, knock on wood. But, so far so good for Christian McCaffrey. Like he's been solid. No issues there for me. So just want to let you guys know. So tomorrow we have Wednesday. Tomorrow is To the Moon, right? Yeah. So To the Moon, To the Bench is tomorrow for the Wednesday stream. So make sure you tune in for that. And then Thursday, I think we should do a fantasy cast Thursday. I haven't done one yet this year because with my football season and everything, it's been very busy. So I'm thinking of doing that fantasy cast. I don't have any stake in this game Thursday other than maybe Jaleel McLaughlin, depending on what happens with Javonte Williams. Yeah, so that's going to be the schedule the rest of this week. And of course, Sunday being the big day, the double stream and all the injury update videos that go along with it. So it'll be good. 12-man on PPR, Tua, Walker, Swift, Puka, Brown, Josh Jacobs, keep him on the bench or plug him in somewhere. Lions defense, Ayuk on the bench. I think you got to play Ayuk. I think you got to find a spot for Ayuk or at least trade him. Because he's really playing well, like really well. And Brock Purdy and him have a really good rapport. Extremely frustrating that designated IR and Yahoo. Yeah, James Conner is. So I was able to put him in the IR, but not yet for JJ. I'm 5-0 with him, hopefully. Yeah, me too, James. Amon-Ra, Hopkins, Gabe Davis can pick up the slack. Yeah, listen, it's just survival of the fittest right now. That's what it is. It's fantasy survival of the health fittest, literally. Like I'm 5-0, but I just lost Connor, Jefferson, Tank Dell 2 weeks after I lost Mike Williams, all from that same team. So, and had lost David Montgomery for a week, and thank God he's back. But this goes to show you guys, you could be on top of your league 1 week, and then the next week disaster strikes, everything goes to hell. That's where I'm at now. What a shitstorm today was for Massacre Tuesday. Like you can't even quantify like how bad that was for the fantasy football community today. It's like one of those days where you just really know there's a lot of people that are hurting out there now in terms of their team. Can we trust Hopkins? No, I don't think so. You can't trust any team with Ryan Tannehill. I don't think it really comes down to Hopkins. Obviously, he showed last week he still has the ability. Would you move Kamara and Hollywood and Addison for Bijan? It's a lot. I don't think I would do 3 for 1. No. I think I'm going to do it for Burks. Not sure I'll get anything for us. Yeah, I would do that too, Ryan. Yeah, he did look good for that one game. Whew. All right, guys, I think I'm going to pop off. About 45-minute stream today. I'm getting a little shot, so I got a dinner time. I'm here in the East. So listen, guys, it was always a lot of fun doing this with you guys. Hopefully better days ahead. Enjoy the rest of your night. Tomorrow's already Wednesday, so things are really picking up already. And we will go from there, guys. So have a good evening.